Hey everyone, it's JP and I've got a new bracelet design for you. I've got two different color combinations that I've done here. So I've got my silver and blue bicone design here. And over here I've done blue Superduos and Capri gold fire polish. So if you don't have bicones, you can use fire polish. It's kind of up to you what you want to use. Now I have all the colors and the bead numbers and the sizes. It's all in the description box below. So just click below the video and you'll be able to see everything. I even have links to where I purchased the beads. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so for materials, here's what you're going to need. This is 11 Miyuki 11-os. They're galvanized silver, or Duracoat galvanized silver. You're also going to need 15s. Those 15s are also Miyuki and they're the same color, Duracoat galvanized silver. You're going to need some Superduos, and I am using opaque bright silver. And the last, what I have here are 4mm bicones, but you can use any 4mm bead you have. It doesn't have to be a bicone. It could be rounds or pearls. By the way, this drives me up the wall. I know it's silly, but I'll say you can use rounds, and then someone will ask me if they can use pearls. Pearls are round beads, so I kind of think they fall under that category. Anyway, just kind of a funny thing that people always ask me, and I'm thinking, well, I just said rounds. Anyway, you can also use fire polish, so you have lots of options. And the color of this is called Blue Luster. So these are Czech machine cut beads, and I've got those from, I think, crystalsandbeadsforfriends.com, something like that. So to start, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up 4 15s and 4 11s, and getting this camera to, trying to get that to focus a little bit. Anyway, so that's what you're going to need to start. You're going to pick up 4 of them, and then I'm just going to tie a quick little knot. Just like that. I just want to leave enough of a thread that I can later weave this little bit in. So, but this is what you want, is just your basic knot, and then you are going to take your needle and just go through all the beads one more time to reinforce everything. So I'm just flipping that over so I can work in the direction that's more comfortable to me. I've got about an arm span of thread, so it's about 5 feet. Work with whatever you're comfortable with. So 5 feet is too long for you, work with something shorter. And I'm almost all the way around. So I'm trying to keep my thumb out of the way, but sometimes I gotta put it in there just to kind of help me hold the piece, otherwise it goes flying out of my hand. All right, so once you've done that, and trying to make sure, there we go. Just get through that. I want to switch directions, and I'm going to go into this direction now. All right, and then all the way around. So, and basically all I did was go into the second hole. So you can see there's the thread. I'm going over into this other hole. Pick up a Superduo and 11. Oops, my Superduo just went flying. A Superduo, 11, and a Superduo, and just go into the next Superduo. So this is what you should get, and then you're just going to repeat that 3 more times, and so it's a Superduo, an 11, and the Superduo, and into the next bead here. So There it is. And repeat. Last time, Superduo 11, Superduo, and so this time you want to go into, this is our Superduo, and then we're going into the next Superduo from this current round that we're working on. So you want to keep your tension tight, but not so tight that you start to notice, like you want the piece to sit flat. So if it's too tight, the piece is going to start to kind of buckle or cup a little. You don't want it to do that. And then we can go ahead and reinforce. So I'm going to go back through all the beads and reinforce it. Okay, so once you've gone all the way around, this is what you should have. Very simple. And then I'm just gonna go into the second hole of my Superduo here, and I'm just turning the work over. So I can work in the upward direction, which is a little more comfortable for me. So now I'm going to pick up 3 11s. Oops, and that one's weirdly shaped. And go into the next Superduo. Then I'm going to pick up a 15, my bicone, and my 15. And I'm going to go into the next Superduo. So what you want to note here is that I'm putting the 3 11s where I've basically got Superduos, versus here I've got an 11 down here. So that's how you know which direction to kind of know the positioning of the beads. And then again, this time it's 3 11s because as you can see there's a Superduo there between these two Superduos. And then here, since there's an 11, we're going to do the bicone. So it's going to be 15, and can't pick up a bicone, 15. Go into the Superduo. Three 11s. And time for the bicone. So it's 15, bicone, 15. And there's the piece. It's 3 11s. $15, bicone, 15, and into the Superduo. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the 11s also. Okay, so here's our piece, and should feel nice and solid, but still somewhat flexible, so not super tight again, as I said. And you want to watch out for buckling. And I'm going to continue to go over, or I'm going to go ahead and reinforce. I'm going to go back through all the beads again. And just going through the beads. So I'm taking my time with this and going nice and slow and to make sure I don't miss anything, because sometimes it's easy to miss those 15s. Now when I got here to this one, I'm actually going to put on my clasp loop. So I'm going to go through, I want to come out of the middle 11 of the 3. I am now going to pick up 4 11s and just going back through just that middle 11. Just like that. And then I'm just going to flip the work again, just to flip it. And what do I have a thread here? Okay, so flip the work. Oh, didn't flip the work. Flip the work. Okay, here we go. So I want to go into just that first 11 in that group of 4. And I'll get my thumb out of the way. I know someone complained about it in a video, and I'm trying to be conscientious of it, but I don't know. I think people always complain. No matter what happens, something's always going to be wrong. So pick up an 11, which is what I did here, and then go into the next 11. And then pick up an 11 again, and you're going to go into the next 11. Okay, there we have it. And we're almost, you'll start to see the diamond shape forming. So last time you're going to pick up an 11 and you want to go into the next 11, and if you can, depending on your angle, go into that 11 where we started. Okay, so if you'll see, there's that diamond shape, and then you would put a jump ring through this pretty little loop for the clasp. Now I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this, so you can do this a couple of times. I'm just going to do it the one time, because otherwise this video is going to be super long. So, and then I'm just going to make this as tight as possible. You want to give that a good tug. Okay. And then I'm going to make my way to the opposite side from where this loop is. So I want to come out of these 3 11s over here. So, and I'm just going to turn the work back up so I can work again in the direction that's more comfortable. And so just going to go through all these beads. So I'm not adding anything at this point, just making my way over. All right, so now I'm basically at the opposite side, and again, I want to come out of the middle 11. So, whoops, sorry, there we go, if I got out of frame there for a second. Okay, so you've made the first component. Now we're going to make the second component. So to start the second component, I mean, we're essentially making the same thing over and over again now, but it's done a little differently. So when you did the first one, you started with the inner ring, and then we made this outer ring around of beads essentially. So now for this part, you're actually going to do it in the opposite direction. So we're going to make the outer ring first, and then put in the inner ring. So to pick up all the beads for the outer ring, we just want to follow along right here. So the next bead next to this one is an 11. So I want an 11. followed by a superduo, and then that's followed by a 15, a bicone, and a 15. So I'm going to pick up those 3, and then that's followed by another superduo right there. All right, so bring those down, and then we're going to keep going, keep adding beads. And then the next set of beads are 3 11s. And a superduo. And then after that, we've got a 15, a bicone, and a 15. Superduo. And then if we look over here, 1, 2, 3, 11. So we're going to pick up those 3 11s. And of course, a superduo. So let me bring those down. Okay, so we're here. So now again, it's time for a 15, a bicone, and a 15, and then the superduo. And then one more time, we're going to do the 3 11s, superduo, and the last and then another 15, bicone, all right, almost there. So we're just at the end here. Need a superduo and one last, 11, because we're right here. So go back around just that 11 there. And you're going to get this circle of beads. So, and you want to reinforce, I'm just going to pick this up and I'm just going to go through all the beads one more time until I get back to this position. So take your time, make sure you don't miss any beads, because that'll really, you'll just have to back out. So you want to, again, keep the tension, you want to give it like a medium tension, so tight but not so tight that it's hard to get through the beads later on. Basically, you want to remove slack in the thread, but you don't want the circle being buckly. That's a word. So here I am, I'm still going through. I want to make sure I'm not skipping my 15s accidentally. Almost back to where we started. I think I skipped that 15 there. There we go. 11, and I'm back. All right, so now you want to continue forward and go into the next 11 and then exit out of this superduo because we want to switch directions here. All right, so switch into the other hole of the superduo. Okay, so now I'm going to make the next round of beads. So what you're going to be doing is essentially figuring out what goes in between all of these. So here, here's our 3. So that's where we're at. We're on the superduo here. There's between the 3. So that's what we have. We have 3. So in between those, on this lower end was a superduo. So you're going to pick up a superduo and put in the superduo. And then if you look over here, between the bicones, there's actually an 11. So you're just going to put in an 11. And don't worry if it all feels weird. It's going to not look quite right until you're all the way done. All right, then again, we got 3 11s, so there you want a Superduo. And then here with the Bicones, you want an 11. And again, between 3 of the 11s that are here, so between that, we are going to put a Superduo. And move my fingers out of the way. And then here we've got the Bicones right there. So we need another 11. And got our 4th Superduo. Superduo goes there. Okay, so what's missing over here? An 11. And I'm going to go and put the 11 through, and then you can continue and reinforce through that set of beads. So now you're going to see that we've got the identical pattern. So what's going to, in that last inner circle, we're just going to need the 15s. So you could see we have 15s on that side, so you're going to put 15s on that side. But before we do that, I just want to go ahead and reinforce this inner circle. So I'm just going to go through all the beads that we just added. So again, I'm keeping my tension not loose, but just kind of a medium tension. Okay, so I am all the way basically back to the last, this is the last bead we had added on that round. So I'm just going to go through that bead and the next 2 Superduos. So here's where I want to come out. So now I'm just going to lay this down. So here's where we're at. And so I'm going to go into the other hole of this Superduo here. And then I'm going to add in my 15s for the last part. So pick up 1 15 and let me turn it this way. And you want to just go into the Superduo here. And then just repeat. There's another 15. Go into the next. Oops, just 1 15. I got 2 there. And just need 1 more 15 to finish out this last round. And there we go. So there it is. And then I'm going to reinforce just like I've done before. Okay. And there's the piece I've reinforced it. And then now basically what I want to do is I need to come out of this bead here because then we're going to repeat exactly what we just did. So I'm thinking that if I go through, come out of this Superduo, I come in this way and then I turn that way. So I'm going to work my way over to this Superduo. And then we're going to turn and switch into the other hole of that same Superduo and then go into the Superduo next to it, just like that. And then you turn again and you go into just the Superduo and then the first two of the 11s. And there it is. So now you're just going to go back and repeat what we did before. So I'm going to go through what beads to pick up and then you can continue from there because I think you can figure out how to figure out what beads go where. And you can always go back and reverse to the last 10 or 11 minutes of it and you can see how I did that originally. So again, the next bead here in this outer part is the 11, followed by a Superduo, followed by a 15, a bicone and a 15, followed by a Superduo, and then that comes with, or next comes the 11s and our Superduo, and then our bicone 15, bicone 15 that is. And again, 3 11s. Oh, nope, sorry. Superduo, then the 3 11s. And then another Superduo, followed by the 15, the bicone, and the 15. My Superduos are spreading. Move this over. So we're going to need another Superduo here, and then another set of 3 11s, followed by a Superduo. So you can see, I mean, there's definitely a pattern to this. So we're on our third. We just added, we have 3 bicones, and then I did the Superduo. Here's the 3 11s, and then that last Superduo. So next comes our final set of bicone, or 15, bicone 15. The Superduo, and that last 11. And then we should have our hose set complete. Go back around just that 11. Okay, and then you are going to, next step is to reinforce the ring one more time. And then remember, going back over, you're going to switch into the other hole of the Superduos here. I'm trying to get this one flipped over. So where you have, like here where we have the 3 11s and the 2 Superduos, you're going to put a Superduo, versus on where you have the bicones, you're going to put an 11. So if you noticed, see here's the 15 and the bicones, there's an 11 at the other part of it. And then over here, here's your 3 11s, in between the lower part is the bicone. So that's the pattern you're going to follow for the next round, and then the final round is just 15s. So you want to keep going until you get to the length that you want. Okay, so I have completed making all the components or the length that I need for my bracelet. So, and I've just reinforced my inner ring in this last component. So, to make the clasp ring on this side, I'm going to do what I normally do if I was adding another component. So basically, I'm coming out here. I'm going to continue over to this Superduo because I still want to come out of this 11 over here in order to make the clasp ring. So just keep going. So I'm over here at the Superduo. I'm going to switch to the other hole of the Superduo and go through the next Superduo with it. Then over here, I'm going to switch directions one more time. And I'm going to go into the first two 11s as well. All right, then pick up 4 11s. And go into the next 11. Or sorry, go back around the same 11 is what I mean to say. So I've got my 4, I'm going back around the same one. And I'm just going to turn the work over, go through the first 11 here, pick up an 11, go into the next one, pick up an 11, go into the next 11, and then pick up another 11 and go into the next 11 and then the back into that middle 11. Just like so. And then reinforce the entire loop. So just go back through all the beads. So I'm just going through the beads 2 at a time, essentially. And okay, so I'm coming out of that middle bead in that group of 3, and then I'm going to go into the next 11 next to it. Alright, so there is your loop. Should be identical to the one on the opposite side, so you get the nice little diamond pattern that I like to do. You don't have to do it this way, you can do it any other way that you like. But you'll be putting jump rings through that. But before we do that, next step is optional, so it's kind of up to you if you want to do this. I'm going to go ahead and, because I think this is, I want to make it a little bit more secure, because all of these components are essentially connected at these 11s here. I want to make that part a little more secure, so we got one more step to do. And what I'm going to do is I want to make my way over to this bicone right here. It's between, basically we're going to put a little something over here between these two components. So I'm coming out of the 11, I'm just going to go through all these beads until I get over to that 11 and 15 there. Going through the Superduo and my 3 11s. Okay, so now go through the 15, the bicone, and the 15. Pick up an 11, then go into the next set of, or just go through the 15 and the bicone. If you can, I'm having trouble coming out of just the bicone. There we go. Alright, and then what you're going to do is pick up an 11, a bicone, and an 11. And you're going to go back to this bicone here on the opposite side, and you're just going to make a loop that goes through. just like so. So it puts a little decorative piece, and then just come back up through all the beads again. And then we're going to go and repeat this. So we're going to go all the way down the bracelet until, and then just, so you're going to work your way down and then just go through all these beads here. You're just going to follow the beads until you get to this one, and you're going to start again. So I'm going to go through it one more time. So now you're going to make your way over to the 15 here. Okay, so I'm in position. I just want to pick up an 11 and then go into the 15 and just the bicone. And then it's going to be an 11, a bicone, and another 11. And then go over to this bicone on the other side, through the 15, and then through the 11 and back up again. So let's see, it might get a little tricky here. And again, I'm just going to make my way over. And I'm coming out of that 15 now. I'm over into the next components. So here's what I have so far. And last time, you're going to add an 11. Go through the 15 and just that bicone. And I'm picking up that 15, so there we go. Through the bicone. And then pick up an 11, a bicone, and an 11. And then go through the bicone here. And through the 15, and I'm going through it again. Then through that 11 that's in the middle, and the 15. So it should come out like this. And then you're just going to keep going. So you just got to add 3 more of these loops on this side and then continue over. Alright, so I've got one side all done. I've added on the bicones. So now what I'm going to do is just make my way over to this side. And essentially all you're going to do is just follow the beads. So I'm coming out, I've added on this last one, I'm coming out of the 15 on this last part. I'm going to go through the Superduo and then the 11s. And then here I'm going to go through my 15, the bicone, and my other 15. And then the Superduo, and if I can, get through the next 11 there. and then into the next 2 11s. Oh, and the Superduo. Okay, and continuing on, just making my rounds through, or making my way through, I guess not rounds, but okay, so there's the 15 in the bicone. 15 Superduo. 3 11s, almost there. And then into the 15, the bicone, and the next 15. Okay, so we're now in position to continue adding beads to this next part. So pick up an 11, go into the 15 and the bicone. And then pick up an 11. Oh, my bicones are way over there. So let's grab those. And an 11. Go back through the bicone on the other side. Oh, come on. Through the 15 and the 11 that we just added. So this brings the whole piece together. So you want to make sure this tension here is even on both sides so that this is going to lay nice and flat. And then go through the 15, the bicone, and the next 15, and then make your way over into the next component part here. So you're just going to keep going until you get all the way done, and then just tie a few knots and we should be done. Okay everyone, here's the completed bracelet, all done. Here's the other color that I showed earlier. So all I did was put in jump rings and the loops, and that's it. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.